Only one can wear the ring sounds more like a challenge than it does a calling. Hi, what's up everybody? So this is my reaction to the second trailer for the Lantern series that will be on HBO this coming August. And it's doing an amazing job of building off of the previous trailer. I talked about it, how you kind of get a glimpse of what the relationship is between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, what that dynamic of mentor and mentee is. But you also kind of get a glimpse of the setting in which they are operating in, this small town, and it has a bit of a murder mystery. Everyone has their established places in this neighborhood, including the landowners and the cops and the everyday people in the town. But this particular trailer, it kind of shifts a bit away from that, and now you're getting more of a sense of who the Green Lanterns are, specifically Hal Jordan, because Jon Stewart isn't the one wearing the ring just yet. But you kind of see how there's even more tension, than was hinted at in the previous trailer. Even in the beginning, you have Hal Jordan, played by Chandler. He's talking to Jon Stewart, played by Pierre, about how this is the most powerful weapon in the universe. You got to be very careful about how you use it. And, just this whole lecture about how important it is to be responsible with the ring. And then cut to, Hal Jordan is playing the slots, and then he uses the ring to manifest, a dollar bill so he can continue playing. And then you have Jon Stewart calling him on it, and then all Hal Jordan responds with is, nope. And so Hal Jordan really kind of comes across overall in this trailer as very grizzled, very hardened, almost jaded, you might be able to say, and then he even tells Jon Stewart, I've been doing this since you were in diapers. So he's seen a lot, he's been through a lot. And so he kind of wears that on his face, even in his hair. Like his hair is so disheveled. It's like, I've been doing this so long, I'm so powerful, I don't care what happens to my hair. It's kind of the feeling that you get as you're watching it, at least I did. And then it kind of is juxtaposed with what seems to be like this almost idealistic framework with which Jon Stewart is approaching the possibility of finally wearing the ring one day. He looks like he was former special forces, a soldier, doing the right thing, and always looking out for other people's best interests. I didn't read any of the Green Lantern comics growing up. I really only know of the character because I used to watch the Justice League cartoon growing up, and so it was like, oh, okay, he's got a cool power, and can manifest all these things, cool costume. And by the way, shout out to the costume designer, because I was very happy because you see the costume in this trailer and it's not animated. So I was really happy to see that. It looks just as gritty and grimy as the tone of the show implies it to be. So I like that. And also you get to see a few other characters as well. Guy Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, makes an appearance. I don't know how much he's going to be in the series. You got Laura Linney. I don't know what her role is, but I'll watch anything she's in. She is just one of the greats working right now. And it's getting me more curious. Shout out to the marketing team, for this series, because, they gave us just enough in the first trailer to kind of give us a sense of what the overall tone of the show is going to be. And now we're getting a little bit more of a deep dive into the Green Lantern characters. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll definitely be there in August. And I think you probably will enjoy being there as well. Anyways, those are my thoughts. What about you guys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.